How would you feel if you find things around you has stopped moving? Welcome to the channel Beanpipe Schools, and I am Vijay Lakshmi with you. I am going to discuss about motion, and you will know more about motion in the subsequent videos. Now, all living things have inherent ability to move. Even we can make non-living things move by applying external force. But how can this moving, non-moving objects be explained in physics? The question can be answered in mechanics. It is the branch of classical physics that deals with the study of forces acting on any form of matter in the universe, whether at rest or in motion. In fact, it is one of the largest subjects in science and technology. Now, mechanics can be classified as statics, kinematics, and dynamics. Now, let's study about statics. The branch of mechanics that deals with the study of bodies which are at rest is called as statics. Here, we study of forces acting on and in the body at rest. Now the question comes in mind that where will I study this, or where will the study be useful to us? Now this is used generally in the study of designing of buildings, bridges, dams, and other mechanical devices which are related to rest. That means these are not applicable to moving bodies. Kinematics, the branch of mechanics which deals with study of motion of bodies without considering the cause. Now this study helps to predict the speed of a body between two specific points in specific time. Distance, displacement, velocity, speed all fall under this category. The branch of mechanics which deals with the study of motion when causes are taken into consideration is called as dynamics. Now dynamics explains the cause of motion or the effect of force on the motion of the bodies having masses. For example, if you have a load in the pulley and it's moved due to the force exerted by the man, that is where dynamics helps us to find out. In our day-to-day life, we find car moving, fish swimming, athlete running. So all these have one thing in common. That is, all of them are in motion. In fact, our earth is rotating and even revolving around the sun. Sun and stars are revolving around the center of the galaxy. The galaxies are also in motion. So everything in the universe is in motion. Nothing can be said to be at rest. Although they are all in motion, sometimes we also say that a stone is at rest, or a train waiting in the platform. So what does it mean? That means these objects are in rest with respect to their immediate surrounding. That is, with respect to us, they are not changing their position.
So here comes a phrase called frame of reference. When we talk about a particular body, it has its own frame of reference. For example, suppose a person standing here. So he has created his own frame of reference. That means it has its own x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, the three-dimensional plane. Or you can say this is generally used for observation and description of physical phenomena. Now you can define this frame of reference as The set of axes that lets the position of the object to be defined at any given time.
Now let's talk about state of motion. Here is an example. Suppose a person is sitting in the train and would see through the window that trees are moving past. This means that the train is changing its position at every instant of time. Even for the person observing a moving train from outside would find the train changing its position here. If a person is standing here and watching at the train, he would find that the train is moving because at every point the position of the train is continuously changing. So this state is called as the state of motion. Now let us discuss about state of rest. Now I would use an example here. Suppose you are sitting with your friend in a moving bus. Now when you look at your friend, you would see that your position is constant. It's not changing, which means that you are at rest. Whereas if you take the bus stop as a reference point, you would find that the position of the bus is changing with respect to the bus stop. That means this will show that the bus is moving. So here we would say that if a body is said to be in a state of rest, that means when it does not changes its position with respect to a fixed reference point, or you can say fixed reference frame. Now one thing we can conclude from the discussion of state of motion and state of rest, that motion is a relative term, or you can say that when we discuss motion of something, we describe motion as relative to another object or body we are using it as a reference. For example, Earth is in motion, that means Earth is revolving round the sun. Similarly, a person taking rest or sitting on a chair, it seems very funny that the Earth is quite smaller than the person here, but for the sake of explanation we can just use it again as a reference point. Well, a person sitting on the earth here would be in a state of rest because his position isn't changing. But when we refer his position with respect to the movement around the sun, he is in motion. So we would say that while sitting here on the earth, his speed is 0 relative to the earth, but relative to the sun, his speed is 30 km per second. Seems strange. Now in physics, motion can be defined as displacement of an object from its initial position. In secondary level, we study about motion along straight path. This is called one-dimensional motion. Motion along a curved path is two-dimensional motion, and motion in space is three-dimensional motion. Now before I end, I have a question for you. Suppose you are in motion and things around you are also moving in the same direction and same speed. Then how would you describe your state of motion? Write your answer in the comment section and let me know how it was learning with me. Till then, stay connected.